Welcome anyone who's starting to show up. I have a few people already here. We'll turn on the overhead light for today. Yeah, as is. I'm sure people will start showing up eventually. And for the meantime, we'll just hang out until then. Welcome, Husbandry lol. Welcome. Looks like we have a few people starting to show up now. Of course, YouTube's behind a little bit, so you never know for sure. No, not to break your spirits, but the top fan is oh no, you are the top fan, but I think it's ranked by 1, 2, and 3 depending on how early you got to the stream. So if you left this stream, it would switch to someone else. But yes, for now you are the top viewer, top fan viewer, whatever you want to call it. Gonna wait for some more people to get in here before we hop into feeding because we already have some very nice species right off the bat and I don't want some of the other folks to miss it. So, thanks for anyone who's here and waiting patiently. But I think all I have to feed today is just roaches since yesterday I got isopods and miscellaneous inverts fed. I might have to feed the frogs, but it looks like they're sleeping. Oh, and now we just have 12 viewers. Man, YouTube is really slow about telling me how many people are in here. Looks like my computer's running quicker. I have to scroll down. Welcome, Ralph Tribble. We got Diana in here too. For some reason it's not loading on my phone, but I see it in here. We got a few other people. Man, YouTube is really slow. Alright, well we got a good flow of people coming in. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Busy day with schoolwork and whatnot, but getting home and doing some bug work is always a little bit fun. We'll just dive right into it. We'll start off with a strong contender right here. I'm trying not to mess with him a lot because I just recently got him. But it is my male Macropenesthia rhinoceros. An adult male right here. Chad is what I've named him. Lovely guy. And I'm actually currently saving up for a female to breed with him hopefully next year. But yeah, these guys are really awesome. Here's them in the light. They're not the largest roach in captivity, which is what they get mistaken for. They are the heaviest roach in the world and captivity. But I still think Blabberus giganteus is the largest in the hobby. Maybe the new Archimandrita, potentially. But there's that guy. I have him on this sandy substrate because my research recommended to do so, with lots of oak leaf litter, rotting oak wood and such. Welcome anyone else who has popped in. There was a few other people who said hello, but for some reason it's not showing up on my phone. I'll give this guy some water. Right now I'm keeping him 50-50, so one half is humid, more towards the front where the entrance would be. Since in theory, I think how it works is, what is your favorite animal? Currently, my favorite animal is puggles. I posted about it on Discord actually the other day. Which are a baby of echidnas, which is a type of I think it's an Australian species of anteater that have spikes on them. But for roaches, right now it's a very close contender for Hormetica and Parahormetica species, or Eurycotis floridana. But for roaches, or for mammals and animals, is a lizard. Yeah, lizards are pretty fun. I do want to get some breeding pairs of lizards down the road. Speaking of Eurycotis, we have Eurycotis floridana from Elliott Key, Florida, which are starting to finally mature. Another beautiful locality of these guys. Let me fix this lamp. There we go. Another beautiful species. Very large and nice. For anyone else in the live stream, if you have any questions or comments, just put them down in the live stream. I'm pretty responsive. And welcome Emma Jade. We also have Aliza. There's quite a few people in here, actually. I don't know why it's not showing up on my phone. Hopefully the chat's not messed up or anything. Don't think it is, though. How old are you? That's not a question I get asked a lot, so I'm actually 15 years old. For any people out there, I do a lot of this roach stuff at a very young age. Get a lot of help from my parents and stuff, but for the most part I do it all myself. Give these guys some water. Yeah, I'm 15, and I think I've been doing it. I started getting into reptiles and amphibians around the age of 9, and I still have my frogs from when I was 10. But yeah, I started keeping roaches around 2021, maybe 2020, with hybrid hissers and stuff, and then it eventually escalated, and now I have this wonderful giant collection. I'm 10. Wow, a youngster in here. But I'm not much to say. There, they got some stuff. That's a really interesting looking one. I wonder if this one's a... Hold up, I gotta check that one. That looked like it could be a morph maybe, or maybe just... Nah, just a recent molt. Alright, we'll move on to the next bin. We got plenty of dog food. I think Diana said she was going to stop by, and hopefully Bahidger does. I'd like to say hi to him. Right here we have some earwig species. We have, not some, a earwig species. This is Euborrelia arcanum from, where was it? It's one of the Florida localities, or no, Auburn, Alabama, not Florida localities. I don't even know if they range in there. So there's a large species of earwig. I just rehoused these into this larger setup because I want to try to get a massive culture of these guys going. So I'm trying to keep up with their moisture needs and not turn out to be like Kyle, because he's killed them like 5 times, I think he said. At least that's what he told me. Oh, and here's another cool bin we have. Gromfordorina oblognota Cucaraca plug stock, and these actually recently bred for me from some adult pairs I got. You can see some of the nymphs in the bottom. He sent me, or Paulo Padilla, who I got these from, sent me smaller adults because he didn't have any, but they're breeding now after only a few months, so that's always nice to see. You can see some more babies. I think some of the other oblognota stocks I've gotten in the past little while are a lot more impressive, though. Welcome anyone else who's popping into the live stream right now. We're just working on getting some roach husbandry done for anyone who is curious. I really need to start getting food dishes for every single bin. I'm trying to pay attention and see if we have more viewers showing up that I'm not seeing. But it looks like it's just at this one. Yeah, YouTube's pretty slow, so if I miss your message or something, just let me know and I'll try to respond. Oh no, hopefully this handle isn't broken. It can be pretty annoying. Welcome back. Right here we have, let me fix this tripod here. Oh, there we go, that's much better. We have Rhabdobladinae species Kodo Kinabalu, Malaysia. These guys are in the rougher end right now because I just rehoused them. And these guys are already a pretty finicky species in my experience, so doing an enclosure change up or whatever always messes with them slightly. But I'm just trying to keep their humidity up, which always helps. But really liking these standardized setups makes life a lot easier when it comes to feeding. Right here we have an outdated setup because I thought I was receiving larger nymphs than what I did, but this is Eublabrus marigihara from Brazil. These are very small, but these are the... Are you live tomorrow? Probably not tomorrow, but hopefully in the next few coming weeks I'm going to be going live more often. But if you're new and stuff, you can subscribe and stuff and have notifications on when I do go live. And then, of course, on Discord and Instagram, I'm a lot more active there. But probably not tomorrow just because I have plans and whatnot and schoolwork. And these guys, a little bit of apple and dog food. And a lot of people ask me what I feed my roaches and stuff. I just feed apples and dog food. Sometimes I have fish flakes to offer, but a lot of the time I don't, because I always run out. Scooch the setup down a little bit so we can move on to the next row of bins. You just subscribed. Well, thank you. That's very nice. I think that lamp is getting bright. Right here we have another Eurycotis species. This is Eurycotis species Banana Bay, Florida. Jet black individuals, very large. They've become very obscure in the hobby lately. Some people definitely have them. I just have not seen them for sale very often. And there's a female incubating a newt, actually. It's lovely. Well, this is a nice species, very large, easy to care for. And I just started getting my first ooths from them, so that's lovely. Here's some more. Give these guys a good mist halfway. Keep one side moist and the one side on the drier side. So these guys like to leave frass everywhere and it can be annoying to deal with. Once again, another Eurycotus species because these are my favorite. No, I'm from the US. I live in Michigan, actually, unfortunately. Not saying that the US is a terrible state or terrible country, just unfortunate for any UK people and stuff. It's time zones and whatnot. Oh, yeah. Because I'm assuming it's pretty later in England right now for time-wise. I think this is the Texas locality of these guys. These are very fun. All Eurycotus are fun. What am I talking about? Oh, there's the dog food. Where do I put that? Right here we have a pretty large colony. This is Blattidae species Mount Kilimanjaro from Tanzania. Lovely species. Oh, there's Diana. What's up? I'll have to go. I don't want to mess with him. You missed the male Macropenesthia. I wasn't sure if you were in the live or not. I just don't want to mess with him a lot, but there's some other goodies coming up to show off. Oh crap, dropped one. But yeah, these guys are very prolific and easy species, very fun to keep. Yeah, he'll show up later in another stream. I don't want to mess with him too much and stress him out and whatnot. Since I did get photos of him the day he got here, and I don't like bugging newer animals and stuff. I mean, are they edible? I'm guessing you're asking that the roaches are edible. Actually, some species of cockroach are indeed edible. Hissing cockroaches, most of them are edible, I believe. Natives to Madagascar cook them and eat them. I could be wrong, but solitary means like living on their own, right? Diana? If that's what you mean, then yes. Unless you mean like in colonies, because if so, I can bring up a good conversation on that. But back to what I was saying, some natives to Madagascar actually cook and roast hissing cockroaches as a delicacy. So, to answer your question, can you do a face reveal? If you go back in some of my older videos, there's some videos of me when I was younger. I have no idea. You'd have to do research. But this is one of the species, Gronfodorina blognota. Yeah, Macropenesthia they're amazing pets. I've been wanting them for a while, and I was able to score a male. And now I think I'm gonna get a female, but it's gonna cost 350 buckaroonies. aka US dollars, which is quite a lot. But a single pair of babies can sell for $350, so it can really pay off in the end. Of course, I'm not only doing it for the money, but definitely helps. This is Grompherdorina oblongata. This is from Dave Grimstock at the Invert Shop. I have plenty of these right now, and these are cohabiting with another species of African roach, Dipterum hanstromii. I have 3 different strains of Grompherdorina oblongata now, and these are definitely up there as one of my favorites. Yeah, I'm having a feeling that sexed pair you got from Oren might not breed at all, because apparently oblongata are notorious for having troubles breeding to begin with. And receiving an adult pair is probably not the best idea in my opinion, so if you contact me in the spring or something, I'll probably have these available. I might even have a sale next week, wink wink, on Kyle's server. But yeah, just let me know. Forgot how much I fed them last time. Probably a good amount. These guys are hefty roaches. And I'm keeping these kind of like Princessia, a little bit more humid than Portentosa. Oh, there's a nice subadult male. He's gonna be a big one. I just know it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I would love to travel to Thailand someday and try out insects and stuff. I've tried a few. I've tried common stuff, crickets, grasshoppers, scorpions and suckers, stuff like that. But I would love to try the more obscure stuff since I'm always been interested in trying obscure foods. Here's Princessia van Werebeckii cohabiting with Simplosi pallens. These guys are doing wonderful, and there's also I think this is this is Blabberus colossius in here with the other 2 roaches. These guys are fun little roaches, and there's also Armadillidium paraci in here still. Yeah, they're still on the bottom. You can see some right here. Little isopods. Not sure if this cohab will do good long term, but I guess we'll see. Just because of the breeding nature of Princessia and Simplosi, they might fight it out after all. Yeah, they're definitely cool to see in person. We're coming up to another bin of oblongata that I have a major male in, and they're just awesome to have in person. Very awesome. I'll give these guys a big ol' chunk of food. I might have to cut up another apple. Most of my colonies are getting to the point where they can take half an apple, and I have a lot of roaches nowadays. Right here's a new addition too. This is Blabberus species Pantanal from Brazil. These are from Alan Gian. He was able to give these to Kyle, and Kyle gave them to me. Oh, he's going straight for the apples. What do you know? Lovely little species of Blabberus. Very pretty. Very underrated too, and they're somewhat rare in the hobby right now. I have more nymphs buried under the substrate too. And I'm trying to think of some bugs I would love to try eating. I would try roaches, but I'm somewhat allergic to blabberids, so that wouldn't be fun at all. Maybe snails and slugs? I don't know if slugs are edible. Maybe the guy in here, the young Fritos, can answer that question. I did have 2 dogs, but we recently, unfortunately, had to put one down, but I still have 1 dog. It is a Siberian Husky named Diesel, and then we also have 2 cats, one Fully Black Cat, which is Jax, and then Axel, which is a tubby cat, I think. My male Oblongonota is so aggressively does his scream and try to force his way out of his enclosure. Yeah, they're like that. I'm about to show you a massive male right here of this strain. This is almost the same size as the Macropenesthia in terms of length, but in width they don't come close to it, but these are gigantic. You know what, just for the live stream, I'm gonna get out the Macropenesthia male just to show how big this strain of Oblongonota can get. Because I gotta prove it to you guys. It is absolutely insanity. So here we have Macropenesthia male, and here we have Oblongonota. Almost, actually, they come very, I think oh crap, just dropped the major male. I think they might be the same size, believe it or not. But yeah, here's them side by side. Absolutely ginormous. Just hefty roaches. I think large roaches have always been my favorite. And this strain is just unmatched. Let me put this male back. He's probably angry at me now. He'll be happy soon once I drop nearly $400 for a female for him to breed with. But yeah, this is a stock that originates from potentially the Philadelphia Zoo. It does say I have 15 viewers. That's nice. I don't know if I trust YouTube, though. Sometimes it says I have, like, 100 viewers, and I actually have, like, 1, so. And same thing here. I'm keeping these. I'm keeping all my Oblongonota, obviously, the same. I'll give them a little chunk of apple. But really loving this strain, and can't wait for them to breed. Here's another hisser species. We're getting through a lot of the blaberids right now. This is Elliptorina davidi. This is the bumpy hisser. It's hard to see because right now they're nymphs, but they have these beautiful serrations, bumps that are like elevated on them. You can see it good on this one right here. They have tiny little bumps, and in person they're really pretty. And then these are also cohabbing with isopod Porcelio Hase Hyella right here. Not sure if they're doing well in here. I'm trying out a lot of different cohabitations right now. Some of them are working out if you have crash, so I'm kind of just going with the flow. And I'm also keeping this Elliptorina species a bit more humid. Also because I think these Hase enjoy the little bit more humid environment than other Spanish Porcelia. Then we got another roach. This is I don't know how to pronounce it. This is Paraitmonopteryx coloniana, the red goblin roach. I got these as feeders for the frogs. And they're also very just underrated. They're a very pretty red roach. They remind me of Eurycotis a lot. But you can just feed these guys dog food. I give them a slight mist. They go nuts. And you could start off with 2 of these and you'll end up with thousands. Got 67 views. Not the 6-7 means making it into the way of the bug feeding. I never thought that would happen. All right, here we have Simon Doe. I really need to redo this enclosure because I threw in some buffalo beetles as a joke, thinking they weren't gonna breed because it was a singular one. And now there's a lot of them in here. And also my Simon Doe are breeding quite well now. But yeah, there's like hundreds in the substrate, so I'm trying to sell those or cull them or whatever, but there's tons of Simon Doe babies now. Yeah, I won't. They're really easy and stuff. The Blabberus species Honduras. You'll probably be waiting another year until they mature, dude. When I first got them, it took a year and a half for them to have babies. And it took them like 9 months to mature. It's insane. But they're really fun species, and once they mature, they're almost the same size as Giganteus or Giganteus, however you pronounce it. I have to go now, bye. Well, thanks for stopping by and thanks for the sub. It's always nice to grow the channel. Yeah, they are pretty prolific, and unfortunately, I've been finding them loose somehow. I think they just ran out of the enclosure last time I was doing husbandry, but I have no idea. And I'm still not sure why Simon Doe are so pricey. I got mine in a trade, luckily, but I know Kyle was selling them for $100 for a 12 count a while ago. Yeah, they are very sneaky. Here's another little fun roach. This is Hebardina ugandana from Uzimbra Mountains, Tanzania. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these are in the same genus as the African bullet roaches. But these are doing pretty well for me. They don't get in very large numbers, as I'd want them to be, but they stay in good numbers throughout the year. Oh, there we go. Big old bark flip. And I'm keeping these with a species of isopod right now, if I can find them. Maybe they died out. I would be really shocked if Silisticus didn't survive. And I think I just had a few hop out of the bin. That's lovely. Yeah, this is definitely the most proliferated I've seen this colony, so that's nice. If anyone spots a roach in the background, please let me know. I can't have my parents get mad at me again. Yeah, Kyle does be hustling. Some of his prices make sense for isopods, but I'm not going to price shame. People's got their reasons. That's all he does for his career, so it's understandable. God dang it, another baby roach. Well, I might have a culture of these living under my bed. I am curious to know how much Kyle makes a year just from selling bugs and mammals and whatever he does. Here's a colony of Neostylopiga rhombifolia. This is my colony of them. They are very prolific species, at least this strain of them. Back in the old hobby days, these used to be very hard to come by. And still in Europe and stuff, these are very hard to see, or hard to breed and stuff. And I'm keeping these with Tenebrio obscuras type of mealworm. Right now, my colony is kind of on the smaller end because I was feeding them off to assassin bugs, but once I have some more adults mature, they'll be going nuts. Oh yeah, just wait. Once the adults mature from the egg casings you have now, they hatch and they mature, you'll have thousands. This is my colony's in the smaller end because I sold a lot of them off before winter. But yeah, these get insane. I'm gonna turn on the fan in here. It's starting to get warm. Bug feeding always makes me work up a sweat. Oh, here's a species Diana also has. This is Gromphidorina portentosa UCR. This is a lovely, I think it's like 90% sure that it's a pure strain. I think it is personally. There's also Kenyan roaches in here. Yeah, just a lovely little strain. Pure strain. I think they're pure. Everyone always has their doubts. Same with Kyle and my oblong notice strains. I'm not listening to that crazy roach dude. Pop a little bit of apple in there for them. I don't have a lot of them in this colony, so. Almost halfway through feeding, I think, because I did all my micro roaches the other day, so I only have larger ones currently to do. We are going to do some digging in this bin because I really want to show off. I haven't been able to show off the adult females of Polyphaga aegyptica. That's this species. These are very fun. Diana, whenever you start getting more roaches, I recommend these. These are very fun to keep. They're one of my top 10 favorite roaches by far. I'm trying to find the females. Where are you? Because I think you already have Polyphaga sauceri that gets much larger, but these are just as fun. There's a nice female right there. Very rotund, very large. This is Polyphaga aegyptica Sinai Egypt. And these ones actually have males, unlike all strains of Polyphaga sauceri. So the males have these wings. They kind of remind me of Vega. And then females look like this. I just keep them on a mulchy substrate like this with one corner moist. Very fun. I love them a lot. The females are just very fun to look at and hold. They're on your list. Same thing with these. Just let me know in the spring. I have a lot of stuff I have available, just not to the public eye. But I have small counts of stuff that are available if you reach me personally. Yeah, you could be waiting another year or two for those. They take a long time to mature, unfortunately. A lot of Corydids take a long time. Same with Theria and stuff. Here's a nice underrated roach. Aeluropoda insignis. The flathorn hisser, the pancake hisser. A million common name hisser. I have a really nice... Oh, there he is. The nice major male. That is quite large. Let me find a regular male to put him by. So here's a somewhat major male next to the minor male. You can kind of see the difference. Yeah, they're amazing. They're really flat, have beautiful pronotum structures, very easy to care for. I'm waiting on babies still, but hissers also take some time to make some babies for you. But yes, very underrated. Criminally underrated, some would say. Looks like Bahidjager might be working, or he's in the California time zone, unfortunately, so he might miss out on today's stream. I think he still watches them back, though, so it's not much of a worry. I'm going to take down some of these bins so I don't have to work as hard. There we go. Right here we have... Princessia van Werebeckii Tiger. This is a beautiful strain. Here's some isopods in there too. A beautiful strain of Princessia van Werebeckii. I don't have any adults, and there's also some lone Uricodes and Procera in here because I killed most of them somehow. I'm still confused on that, so I'm just seeing if I can maybe get them to breed in here. Here's a subadult, I think, of the Princessia. You can see they have some really beautiful markings, though. Very pretty. And then these are Armadillidium espagnoli. I'm still have a hatred towards people who call them Armadillidium espagnoli marbleized, because that's their common name. Are you talking about Aeluropoda? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. I just didn't look sooner. If that's what you're talking about, most likely, histers can get very accustomed to human interactions and stuff, especially in smaller colonies before they build up into large numbers. I can't really say much for that because I don't check on my roaches as much as you do, just because of the sheer amount I have on them. So I only really check on them once or twice a week. For certain species that need more humidity, they get checked 2 or 3 times, but that's very rare. This is Blaptica dubia amber, if I can find them. I might even have some mature. I don't. Not yet. But just the John Frost's amber strain. Very pretty. I think the adults are much prettier, though, than the nymphs, so I'm just waiting it out. And I've heard the key to this specific strain is to keep them slightly more humid than your average dubia roach. Not sure if that's actually proven to help with their care, but I've heard so that's how I'm keeping them. Why are you storing them? If you're not a roach person, you hear this is my collection of cockroaches, which might be intriguing or terrifying. But this is just how I keep my roaches. I use bins instead of aquariums. It's a lot more versatile and interchangeable and whatnot. This is Blaberus species, because they're not actually Fusca. Blaberus species Fusca with Armadillidium gestroi. These are also a very beautiful Blaberus. Quite small, though. I'm working on getting every Blaberus in the hobby, but I had to stop buying more because now I'm saving up for that female roach. But I'll probably get some more by next fall. Only roaches? No, I keep a large variety. I have mostly roaches. I have earwigs, a few species of those, isopods, millipedes, a few species of grain pests. There's some beetles I actually have, 2 flower beetles. What else? Stick bugs, frogs. There's a huge handful of stuff I have as pets and whatnot. Another Eurycotis. This is Eurycotis floridana from Alabama. I think Alan collected these, or Satchel did. God, I love floridana. Diana, whenever you have more space, you need to get a Eurycotis floridana locality. They are the best roach ever, I'm telling you. They are unmatched for their personalities. They also, Eurycotis floridana, they smell like cherries. They smell exactly like cherries. They're, not to be weird, but I love opening their enclosure and smelling it. It's amazing how roaches can smell that good. First of all, they're very prolific. You'll see in one of my other strains, they're very prolific. That's one. So, you can have a feeder. You can sell them off and stuff, make some more bug funds, which is always nice. Number 3, they're very large and very active. They're always out. I never not see a few out running around. And they're just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Especially in person. Oh, looks like this male died. But this is Gromphidorina portentosa massola, Madagascar. This is an actually locality collected species of hissers. Very beautiful. They got nice stripes and segments on them. Not segments, but you know what I mean. Very pretty. You can have some very large females. This is almost a Longnota size. Very pretty. And I got these recently from Bahidjer. Just stumbled in. I'm strangely excited. I love to hear that. Some people, when they hear of keeping pet roaches, they're either really intrigued, nervously. Is that a spider web in here? Oh my god, guys, there is a spider in here. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it. Maybe I can culture some spiders. I'm not even gonna complain. But yeah, some people get nervously intrigued by it. But yeah. Yeah, some people could say that. It's not very controversial. I own every single strain of Portentosa. Well, now TJ released a few more, so. Oh, what's up, TJ? Finally made it into one of your lives. Thank you. Awesome to see you here. We got some people from the Discord. We got TJ in here. We got Diana. And we got a few more potential candidates for future roach keepers, which would be nice. But as I was saying, it's perfect time for TJ to pop, and I had every single strain of pure Portentosa until you just released the plum strain of Massola. So now I have to get my hands on those. And then Kyle's probably going to be releasing a bunch more the next few weeks, so... Or not few weeks, over the next couple of years. This is another species I got from TJ. This is, how do you say the Latin on these? Doing maintenance right now. Yeah, I like I'm sad that Kyle doesn't do the roach wiggles, because that's when I would do my maintenance, is when he would do the weekly roach wiggles. But these are Opisthoplatia orientalis. TJ could correct me on that. Latins of these are pretty difficult, but these are doing pretty well. Hopefully I have them in a good setup, because my first Empalamprid was not fun to keep. They're still crashing to this day. Although I think I just got a bad stock from Kyle. This might also be another controversial topic, but I think Kyle sometimes doesn't have the healthiest of roaches. He sold quite a few stocks now that has had serratia, like his Hemiablabra roseni. So I got rid of that colony because I was dealing with them what is it called, crashing from the serratia buildup. No offense to Kyle, I love what he does, just some of his stock doesn't seem very good. If they escape, won't they be super invasive? Not, it depends. But in like 9 times out of 10, no, they will not. And invasive isn't the correct word, it would be, what is the word I'm thinking of? Invasive isn't the right word. Invasive is like when something gets out into the wild and destroys ecosystems. But yeah, I mean, if they did get out of my room and stuff, they wouldn't be able to survive Michigan weather regardless, because I keep mostly tropical species. And as Diana said, they would just die. Most roaches that have escaped, because I've had it, even Paraplaneta I've had escape, they just die. I found them in my bathroom, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Like the Hemiablabra colony that Kyle keeps, he said he had hundreds, so I'm guessing for him and his parameters, it didn't affect him. But once I got them, after like 6 months, that's when they started to die off from it, so. Yeah, you pretty much just said it exactly what I said. Oh, I gotta move this lamp over to my other outlet so you guys can see good. There we go. I'll set this up over here again. I really need to invest in a good, better setup than a phone tripod and a desk lamp. Right here we have some Gyna species. This is Gyna centrio from the Gambia. Yeah, and most species just in general aren't pests. Even like Blatella and stuff, people have trouble keeping them in captivity, which is kind of hilarious. We have a Gyna centrio male right here. Oh yeah, I remember reading about that in Martin's server about the Serratia and the Rhabdoblata and Paratix and stuff. Yeah, that's rough. I was really excited for that species to be in the U.S. once I saw how large they got. That's unfortunate. I really can't wait. I moved this colony over the summer into a 20-quart bin with really deep substrate, and I can hear them at night, and I just can't wait until they really explode in this setup. It's going to be very nice to have handfuls of Gyna centrio. Then we have Penesthene, man, my brain, let me look at the label. Penesthia angustipennis cognata from Cambodia. Still loving these labels that I've made for everything. Honestly helps out for live streams when I forget the names of stuff. Yeah, it sucks because this year it seems like the U.S. import system really put a big, like, ban hammer down. I know you were having troubles getting stuff into the U.S. So it's going to be really hard from now on to get new stuff in. And I know Martin can send egg casings and stuff, but that doesn't always go as planned either. So it kind of is difficult. Right here we have a large bin of Hemiblabra. Oh, there goes the tripod. The, oh, it broke again. No. It's being held up by duct tape right now. All right, there we go. Did that fix it all? There we go. Hopefully we don't have another stumble there. This is a large colony of Hemiblabra tenebricosa from Monroe County, Florida. Oh my gosh. We might be dunzos. Technical difficulties. Hold up, folks. Let me grab some more duct tape to fix it with. One moment. Where's the duct tape at? There she is. Or not. Wait, is this? No, it's Gorilla Tape. Even better. What do you do with them? I keep them as pets, but I also sell them. I mostly just sell them to get more funds, to get more bugs and work on other projects. Like saving up for a camera and whatnot. I also use them for frog food for my frogs that I'm going to be breeding. So all sorts of stuff, but mostly pets. And people study them, as Diana stated. Sorry about the tripod, everyone. I need to invest in a new one. So please come buy some bugs from me in the spring. Alright, I think she should be good now. Let's try it. There we go. We're all set up now. Alright, back to what I was saying. This is a large colony of Hemiblabra tenebricosa from Elliott Key, Florida. I'm keeping these on a really big setup, same as the Gyna centrio, to try to get a big culture of them going. Here's, I think, a female. They look kind of ugly when they're covered in dirt, but once you brush them off, they have really bright reds and browns. This is a good contender for a pet species and a feeder. I was using these for assassin bugs a little bit here and there. Oh, now you can kind of see how large the colony is. There's a lot of young in here right now. Yeah, in warmer climates like California, Paraplaneta and Validoblatta can be an issue. I think that's one of the main pest species in America. You also have like Blatella germanica and other Blatellas. Well, that's a really pretty nymph. Show that off. This is another, I feel like Hemiblabra as a whole is very underrated, unfortunately. Everyone's still obsessed with Roseneat because they think it's Tenebracosa, but now we have true Tenebracosa, and they're 10 times prettier, in my opinion. Here's a nice adult. Oh yeah, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, in the US, most people... I remember when I first got my first roaches, and my mom thought I was crazy, and now she comes up into my room and